in with a nigun, but before we do, I'm going to go back to the first page so that I can see our clergy. And let's give a heart tap so that we can recognize each other since we can't hear one another. It's really good to celebrate Shabbat together. Let's join in song.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la
So it's good to see everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I guess one of the blessings of Zoom is that we can gather from far and wide. I see people locally. I see people from Florida and Texas and New York and New Jersey and throughout the area. And I see families together meeting through Zoom and sometimes in person, families that aren't always living in the same house. And so with that in mind, I want to call upon a member of TBE who is a student cantor at Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion. And so Gabe, will you light candles for us this evening and we'll unmute you somehow? This they did not teach me at HUC, how to unmute on
We
Zoom.
got it, Rabbi.
Perfect. If you'll lead us this evening, thank you. With your parents.
And John. John's here too.
Oh, great. We can't see him. He's hiding.
I'm right here.
Hey, there you are.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tivanu lehad likner shel Shabbat.
Amen. For so many of us, this has become a true marker in the week, especially during this time, a time to just step aside and recognize the blessings despite the pains in the world. I'm reminded of Heschel's comment in describing Shabbat in his book, The Sabbath. Heschel said, our goal should be to live life in radical amazement, to get up in the morning and look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. Everything is phenomenal. Everything is incredible. Never treat life casually. To be spiritual is to be amazed. And so I hope this Sabbath we can fill ourselves with that sense of amazement and gratitude. Let's continue to welcome Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 boechem l'shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon, mi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mimelech malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mimelech malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Ay, 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 tzedchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mimelech malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Ay, 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 yalalai, 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 yalalai,
This week, we thought we would return to some of the familiar melodies of our sanctuary by joining together with L'Chadodi. And so once again, Cantor, will you lead us?
Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, hishmi'anu el ha'miuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet, v'li tehila, l'echad odi, likrat kala. Lekha Spirit to rise and greet the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha uve'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Pinei Shabbat,
Those words were come, enter with joy. And so I hope that our spirit has been lifted a little in these last 10 or 15 minutes, as now we are in Shabbat, in our day of reflection and gratitude. And I quoted Heschel before we lit candles, but as we were singing, I was thinking my favorite one of his quotes is actually later in life. Heschel said something like, when I was young, I admired smart people. But now that I'm old, I admire kind people. And such a brilliant man, realizing it's about kindness and love for one another. And so with that, let us listen to Ahavat Olam, words saying that the Torah commands us to reach out to love and care for one another.
Ahavat כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
So let us offer the prayer we offer each week during this pandemic, a prayer for hope, a prayer for tikvah. So let us join together. We are frightened, God, worried for our loved ones, worried for our world. Helpless and confused, we turn to you, seeking comfort, faith, and hope. Teach us, God, to turn our panic into patience and our fear into acts of kindness and support. Our strong must watch out for our weak. Our young must take care of our old. Help each one of us to do our part to halt the spread of this virus. Send strength and courage to the doctors and nurses in the front lines of this battle. Fortify them with the full force of their healing powers. Send wisdom and insight to the scientists working day and night across the world to discover healing treatments. Bless their efforts, God. Fill our leaders with the wisdom and the courage to choose wisely and act quickly. Help us, God, to see that we are one world, one people who will rise above this pandemic together. Send us health, God. Watch over us. Grace us with your love. Bless us with your healing light. Hear us, God. Heal us, God. Amen.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
So before we turn to the tefillah, the central prayer in our service, I just want to share, if I had a mensch of the week this week, I think it would go to Julian Edelman of the New England Patriots. I don't know if you read, but when he heard the anti-Semitic and hurtful comments of my Philadelphia Eagles player, Deshaun Jackson, he didn't yell and he didn't scream on the internet, but rather he invited Jackson to join him for a tour of the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., and then the National Museum of African American History and Culture on the National Mall. Pretty extraordinary and a real model. We need to listen, he said. We need to learn and we need to act. We need to have those uncomfortable conversations if we're going to have real change. And while Edelman may not have gone to Hebrew school, as he only started strongly identifying as a Jew during the last decade and has been to Israel, he certainly gets it, because he knows that it's by meeting one another and learning together and understanding each other's pain that only then can peace come. And so let's continue with the words, let there be love and understanding among us.
Rabbi, I think we're going to transition into
We sang
tefillah.
that already. We're not going to turn to that. I had it in my mind. Instead, I'm going to invite Ryan for the tefillah. So Ryan Lesner's our rabbinic intern this coming year. I look forward for you to get to know him. Ryan, will you lead us in the prayer, Adonai Svatai, O God, open up our hearts that we may let your presence in.
It would be a pleasure. As we sing these words, once we are finished, we'll join together in some silence just to meditate on where you're at, what you need. I invite you to rise either in body or in spirit. Yananai nai nai, 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 yananai nai nai. Adonai sefatai tiftach. Ufi yagid ilatecha Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai, yananai nai nai.
And let's, when you're ready, return to a seated position and listen to the words of Yehiyu L'Ratzon.
Yehiyu L'Ratzon Imrefi Vehegyon Libi Lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Vego Ali Adonai Tzuri Vego Ali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu L'Ratzon Imrefi Vehegyon Libi Lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Vego Ali Adonai Tzuri Vego Ali Adonai Tzuri Vego Ali.
We now continue with the words of Misha Berach, our prayer of healing. And we'll open up the chat room, I hope, so that people can type the names of those individuals they're thinking of in need of healing of body, of mind, of soul. I mentioned the name Gary Glick, who I know will be having surgery, and we think of him, and others as well in our community. If we can place names in the chat room. And let's join together.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As you know, each Shabbat, we also give thanks for the sacred moments we've shared during this past week. And since we can't call out simchas on Zoom, if you'll raise your hand if you celebrated a birthday in the past week. I want to mention Jonathan Rabb, happy birthday to you. A little bird, let me know. It's great to see all of you. Happy birthday. How about if you celebrated an anniversary, a July wedding?
I see some out there.
Mazel tov. How about new health, new birth? I know there were some new grandchildren born this week. I also know that some people noticed new growth in their gardens this week, and that is very appropriate for Shehechianu. I am told by someone she just picked her first broccoli. That is definitely Shehechianu. I'm seeing a lot of hands go up. I've never seen so many gardens in people's yards than I have this year. So for all of these things, these God-given moments, let us give thanks for a year, for growth, for life. Let's join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Thank you, Spencer. Rabbi Saphire, you have the sermon this evening. Thanks.
Thank you, Rabbi. So I am curious, by a show of hands, or if you prefer some Broadway jazz hands, how many of you watched Hamilton on Disney Plus this week? Oh, I'm seeing a lot of jazz hands. So even though I have seen the show before, this week it landed differently with me for a few reasons. One, I thought, how significant to be returning to this show on the week of July 4th. And I thought, this midrash, this artful commentary on American history, must have something new to teach us in 2020. As I watched this time around, I kept dwelling on this one stunning refrain. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. What an incredible mantra declared by Eliza Schuyler in 1776 in anticipation of a revolution. War, almost certain. It's not a throwaway statement. First of all, it's repeated throughout the entire show, and Eliza declares it with feeling. These words sound to me like a prayer, resonating deep from the soul. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Why are these words incredible? During such an uncertain time, colonies on the brink of war, leadership unaligned, she and our founding fathers sensed and felt strongly that opportunity was on the horizon. In our Jewish tradition, we call this hope, and you have to feel it. It's not purely intellectual. To hold out hope is to sense that something different is possible. It's to feel with certainty. It's to believe in that sense and to know that something else is possible. This is the opposite of apathy, a lack of concern or feeling. I really wonder how Eliza and Alexander Hamilton felt the way they did. And how do we too rise up out of complacency? That's what the 5 daughters of Zelophehad do in this week's Torah portion, Parashat Pinchas. Machla, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah approach Moses to declare, "Our father, who died a righteous man, left no sons. And according to God's law, no one from our family can inherit his land, that is to be divided among sons in a family." Moses takes their plea to God, and God immediately decides it's what is right. Daughters too shall inherit the land. I praise the daughters of Zelophehad for rising up, for speaking truth to power. They take great risk in coming before Moses with a challenge. But for them, I believe, it's the only choice they have. It's a matter of livelihood. What's even harder is to rise up when it's not only our own livelihood on the line. I want to know why it took a family of 5 daughters and no sons to raise the question. Why didn't a family with 4 sons and even 1 daughter speak up? What's the deal with us humans in apathy? Why isn't something a problem until it's our own problem? How do we rise up above complacency to feel passion or empathy for a cause that we perceive to be not as close to us? It's really hard to be an ally, not just adjacent. It takes commitment to be a white person fighting racism. It takes an effort to be privileged or enfranchised, standing up for those who are disenfranchised. It takes energy and patience to be well and healthy and practice self-restraint for the sake of those who are vulnerable. And from another perspective, can you see how it might be out of the way to be of another faith, but fighting anti-Semitism, but it's necessary. How do we do this? Rise out of complacency or apathy? Well, there's a Jewish answer to this question. First, we have to hope and believe in the possibility of creating a better world. For many who suffer from apathy, what's lost is the fundamental hope that change for the better is possible. Or God forbid, what's lost is the belief or the understanding that change for the better is not necessary. We as a Jewish people inherently believe in the coming of the Messiah, in the hope that redemption or an age of peace is not only achievable, but a promise that will come in due time. And until the Messiah arrives, we will continue to believe that our actions have the potential to create a better world, a world full of peace. Second, to be Jewish is to believe in the power of our actions. We are not a faith of creed, but of deed. Our system of mitzvot, of doing, of performing sacred tasks and rituals, no matter how small, helps us to move from passivity to productivity. When we feel stuck or paralyzed, or we cannot think what we should do, we need only to look to our mitzvot. What is the next best thing that we can do? It's probably something small. What is the most doable first step? Just one little sacred deed bringing us closer to redemption. And third, we have to believe in the value of affecting positive change for the betterment of all. When I picked the brain this week of one of my favorite Jewish psychologist teachers, Dr. Guy Saperstein, and I asked him, why is it so hard not to be apathetic? He said, most of us, at one point or another, walk this earth believing in a zero-sum game, which means you win, I lose. We could think that the daughters of Zelophehad getting their property means there's less for the other men, and so on. A radical notion in Judaism counters this approach. Work 6 days and not 7, you will be happier. Farm 6 years, but not the 7th, and you will have plenty. Be kind to the stranger and don't exploit them, and you will live in peace. In other words, goodness does not come at someone else's expense, and goodness is not just the reward of a few. Anti-racism, equality does not just benefit the Black community, it makes us a stronger America. When disease and viral infection are contained, the health of all people benefit. In this week's Torah portion, God also acknowledges this value of wholeness and peace. For the namesake of the Torah portion, Pinchas kills another Israelite for committing unholy acts against God. And controversially, God rewards Pinchas with God's covenant of peace. But it's not really a reward. It's like giving something with your fingers crossed behind your back. The word shalom that God grants Pinchas, unlike any other place in Torah, here is written with a vav ketiyah, a broken vav. Our rabbis interpret this to suggest that the sort of reward that one achieves by resorting to violence, or the type of apathy that one has when enjoying a leg up by simultaneously putting someone else down, is inevitably flawed. Fighting for justice is not about winning or losing. It shouldn't be a political turf fight. Equality for all does not mean inequality for others. The daughters of Zelophehad knew this, and I have to believe that our founding fathers knew this as well. Rashi comments on the daughters of Zelophehad by saying, their eyes see what Moses does not. Wisdom is there. We just have to break through to find it, to sense it. In our tradition, to be a seeker, a darshan, is to see or feel something new. It is to believe there is something worthy of being discovered. It's to sense something that is not right in front of us. and it's to understand something that is not ours. Now that is bold. That is brave. That is radical, perhaps revolutionary. And it's the Jewish way. So look around. How lucky we are to be alive right now. How lucky we are to be alive with a sense of hope that tomorrow will be better. How lucky we are to be alive right now because the values of America are worth fighting for. How lucky we are to be alive right now because human life is valuable. How lucky we are to be alive right now because we have the power to take one step towards peace, unity, and health. Look around. How lucky we are. Shabbat Shalom.
Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Look around. Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. Look around.
We now continue with Mourners Kaddish, and we invite the mourners in our midst to rise if you're able, or raise a hand so that we can acknowledge you as mourners, and to type the names of those individuals you're remembering in the chat room. I also want to specifically mention those individuals, relatives of members of our own community who have passed during the past 30 days. Anna Martinez Bonet, Michael Buckman, Jerome Sanford Fanger, Stephen Ives, Edward Levine, Rickle Schuster, Benjamin David Slavitt, Barbara Salakian, and Sandy Solon. I've also been asked to mention the names Gerson Blaustein, Norma Campaign, Daniel Campaign, Joshua Greenberg, and Susan Kahn. And we think of all of them along with all of those listed in our chat room this evening. And I invite the mourners in our midst to recite these words as you'll find on the screen. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemerabah, v'yamad yivrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayed d'cho beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehesh merabah mavarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemeid kudusha b'richu, le'la min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran v'yama v'imru amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
So before we unmute everyone, Rabbi Sherman, any announcements? I know we have a full calendar in our temple community.
We have lots going on. Rabbi Saphire, I'm going to let you talk about Shabbat after I talk about next week. Starting on Sunday, we have an opportunity with our Israel Current Events program to join along with the Women of the Wall in a conversation around battle for equal rights at the Kotel, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. On Monday, we have lots of Israel programs this week. On Monday, we have a History of Israel conversation at noon with Uri Feinberg. On Tuesday, we have meditation. On Wednesday, we're exploring Heschel and activism. There's so much to do, so much going on. I hope that you will be involved. And if you haven't already, joined in our Every Vote, Every Voice civic engagement campaign, along with our Racial Justice Initiative and other Tikkun Olam initiatives at TBE. I hope if you haven't, we're just getting going, our leaders are in place, so if you would like to participate, please let us know.
Thank you for mentioning that. So this Shabbat, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., we have Torah study tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, if the weather will allow us to do so, we will kick off a series of summer parking lot havdalahs for our families. You can find information online. You do need to register, as we will be in person and distance. So you can find that information on our e-blast. Sunday, we want to celebrate our teen community who will be premiering their first ever Jaws movie, Mamma Mia, the documentary. So you can tune in at 6 p.m. We are really excited to see what creativity they're able to put forth into the universe this season. And one more thing, families with children K to 7, we still are registering for our Camp TBE activities that are going on throughout the week. So we invite you, it is not too late to join in.
And Rabbi, I won't hear the end of it if I don't mention T-Bell. So T-Bell is happening Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock with Nick Page, who's the director of our TBE Sharim Singers, is gonna explore music in lots of different ways with us.
Fantastic, lots to do. So if you have a cup near you, a Kiddush cup, let's raise them high in the air. Enter.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim.
L'chaim, l'chaim. And who has a challah nearby? Fantastic, beautiful.
Rabbi, in case any of you might be fooled into thinking that I bake or that Josh or I baked this, this is courtesy of the Sherman family tonight. So thank you to the Shermans.
Happy wedding.
Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
What a beautiful challah. Take a bite, complete the mitzvah. Now let's say Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great week, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. This is the best.
Shalom.
Shalom, Mom and Dad.
Hello, Saphire family.
Shabbat Shalom. Rosen, time to this
Shabbat Shalom, Mom and Dad. Shalom, Zell. Shabbat Shalom, Shana.
There's a 5K. Have you signed up?
Margie. And Rhonda. Shalom. Rhonda. Marsha and Mitch. And family. David. Shalom, David.
Shabbat Shalom.
Handsome guy.
Oh, hi, David. Oh, Ellen. Hey.
So cute.
Hey, Ellen. Hey, David.
Hello.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, everyone. Zachary, hello, Zachary, the singer.
Shabbat Shalom, David.
Shalom, thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Bud. Bud. Namesake. Bud. Bud's namesake. Bud. Hello.
Oh, Marilyn, Stanley, hi.
Julie.
Hey, Oren.
Hi, Marilyn. Shabbat Shalom, Marilyn.
Shalom, Marilyn.
Shabbat Shalom, Marilyn.
Everybody for everybody.
Thank you, Emily.
Shabbat Shalom,
Marilyn got it.
Hi,
Hi,
Ryan.
Rachel.
Shabbat Shalom.
Naviskis, hi, Naviskis.
Shabbat Shalom, all.
Naviskis.
Hi, Zachary.
Hello, Novisky family.
Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Aaron. Rachel, check your text.
31. Oh. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Hey, Carol.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Bud.
Bud, hi, Peggy.
Hi, Julie.
Hi. Hi, Merle. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
That's Rachel's mom.